campground with 21 sites. We're in the process of adding 9 more sites with power and water. You can actually ride right from the campground to the sand dune, which is great.
Do the current sites have power in there?
No. If you guys notice, national parks are being overrun and too many people. So now we're having to come back to state parks. 2013, when the government shut down, at the campground, because they were all kicked out of Zion, in my little Days parking lot, you probably know what I'm talking about, I had 45 rigs in there for camping because they had nowhere else to go. Most state parks will not do that for their visitors. I take pride in trying to help everybody out I can, the best I can. I'll give them options. If they don't want to take the option, that's up to them, but I will do whatever I can to help them out.
How big is the park?
The park's 3,700 acres, but there's over 7 miles of sand dunes altogether. From the south all the way up and around, you'll go up the backside to see those open back up down to the Ponderosa Grove, down toward Hell's Dive,
Right.
and stuff like that. So it's a lot of area. This part, just to the north of us, there's a conservation area, the wilderness study area. You can't ride in. And the problem is the WSAs sometimes are not well marked, and that's a BLM issue, not mine.
Is anybody doing any studies? We all designate those back in the 70s and 80s, but has there been any studies done on them?
I don't know. To tell you the truth, I have no clue. We're talking about the BLM, the federal government. I don't know what the hell they do.
Well, I bet they haven't
Because
done
the dry
any
lake bed is
studies.
BLM.
That is.
that's
That's
out of
actually
your-
part of the WSA, and they allow, that's actually bigger than what it's supposed to be, size-wise, but because of it floods, they just figure, okay, we'll leave it at that. They've actually shrunk it since I've been here. I don't know what they study. The problem thing is we're limited on land in water. So I have a few other plans and ideas to accommodate a few more campsites, but I'm maxed out on my water usage. So getting people to understand that you just can't go purchase water. I have people in our office say, well, just go buy you more water.
LA and Vegas can.
And I'm like, well, I'm sure glad you can find water because it's all run by the BLM and they don't give their shares away, you know? So I do have plans for about another 8 to 10 more sites, and that's about as max as we can get out there.
But it's going to be part of the existing campground?
It'll be to that new part where that Days parking lot's at. We're actually going to I've made campsites around that area as well. And so they want me to put a couple cabins there, but I have plans on doing a bathroom with showers up there as well.
Well, I noticed that there was power boxes on the highway.
Yes.
So is that the power that they brought in for this?
That's actually, they had to upgrade the power line for 2 reasons. One, because we asked to upgrade that out there. The first part was because the power line was so old, we'd always get power outages, and it's kind of cool to watch flames shoot up through the ground. That's how old that power line was. I mean, they would go power outages, they had no idea where it's at. So you notice there's power boxes about every 1,000, 1,200 feet, so they can isolate it better. There used to be miles between boxes. Slowly but surely we're upgrading and trying to make the best. It will never be a huge recreation or big campground.
Good.
It will never be that way. But as you notice, south of here, I mean, there's places that people used to camp, but now they're bigger than they used to be. So there's places you can go if you don't want to stay in the campground. But the thing about the campground, we have the power, we have the water, we have the dump station, we have the showers. And a lot of people from that stay outside of the campground, they come and use the showers, the dump station, and all those facilities that we have there for them. And you've only hit a small portion. Everybody goes to the Barracks in the Hog Canyon area, but there's so many more areas. You're gonna hit part of them tomorrow. But if you go through Trail 20, it was at Hog Canyon, not Hog Canyon, but Barracks down to Mount Carmel Junction, and that's where everybody goes. Everybody hears about that trail. Well, then they go, well, where else you go from there? I go, well, instead of turning around and go back the same way, just continue to the east up through Diana Throne and around up through Crocodile and the Pickaboo, and it'll take you miles, hundreds and hundreds of miles away. So many places to go see and visit. So you can spend a week here and not even hit a quarter of the trails. A lot of cool places. Here you're going to Water Canyon, Hell's Dive later on this afternoon, which is a great place to go visit. Spectacular. A lot of people don't know about it. They heard about it. You got to have a good map. We do have maps down at the visitor center. If you don't have a map, just be aware you can get lost.
They got a good guide.
That's good. If you come by yourself and you don't have a map, know your directions, number one. Okay? The other cool thing about this area is the wildlife. There's a lot of different wildlife out here. There's no elk. At least I haven't seen elk since I've been here. I've seen cougar, bobcat, deer, coyotes, fox, and the little mangy rabbits.
How about the tiger beetle?
The tiger beetle, they are out here somewhere. And they are a very unique species. It makes managing this place difficult because I got to work with the non-motorized people that don't understand the usage. If you notice, there's a big conservation area to the south of us marked by carcinite signs. The problem is they want to keep expanding their conservation area for the tiger beetle, and the tiger beetle is a pretty unique insect. It's very highly dependent on climate and vegetation. It can be overly vegetated because they'll move out to less vegetated areas, but they can't be barren. So there's a fine line. And so when they start finding beetles a little further out from where they're at, they want to close those areas because they think they're going to reproduce. It's kind of like a salmon. Their life depends on breeding. It's a three-year life cycle. So 2 years they're under the ground as larvae. They reproduce and they die. How big is a tiger beetle? About the size of my pinky. I've been here, like I said, I've been here for a long time, and I still can't find them. They're there, but I still can't find them. I've watched those guys try to catch them. They look like fools. I just don't have that knack, and I just know they're out there. Once they catch them, I can see them, but other than that. And the thing is they don't get the highest. I've been here a long time. The highest count there's ever been is just over 3,000, and the lowest counts have been about 6. And that's kind of a guess because you don't catch every one of them. Because you can't catch them and mark them and make sure you didn't catch them twice.
You can put tracking collars on them?
No, it's well, you'd be surprised when you're dealing with that side of group of people is the stuff they come up with. They actually, because you'll see a couple places a little further to this east over here, pockets, they actually wanted us to put a tiger beetle crossing. I'm dead serious. So you wouldn't run over the beetle, so you could they could cross in safety. It's like, first of all, we're all going too fast to see a little damn beetle to care about it. Me being the smart ass I am, I said, well, we get the railroad crossing signs too, so they can hit the button, so they can go ding 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 ding.
And then to teach them to go to the crossing instead of jaywalking.
Air tires, they're not going to do a thing to those beetles. It's it's going to ride on top of them, ain't going to kill them for the most part.
How deep do you got to put those carcinite signs to keep?
That's a constant nightmare of a job to do because the sand moves. We could put them down 18 inches, 24 inches in a span of a week. They could be buried completely. They could be blown over because the sand's moved. They dropped and they get blown over by sand and covered up. So it's a nightmare to keep that permanently up there and keep people out of it. It's amazing when people actually start talking about them. What we're trying to do is to preserve them and also give the opportunity for people to ride. And you used to, be able to camp along Hancock Road by Ponderosa Grove and access the dunes and everything. They've closed all that down to help with the wilderness study area and the beetle stuff.
So you can't ride when you go over the backside. You can't ride out the road that way anymore.
Not unless you hit the trail that goes down to the petroglyphs.
Lamb Springs.
Lamb Springs.
Whose idea was that? I mean,
BLM.
I know it's not yours.
BLM.
BLM?
Yeah.
That was one of those give and take with this tiger beetle. They actually wanted to shut down the park.
You gave and they took?
Of course they
Pretty
did.
much. And I do have pretty strong opinion about it because I use this area. I know about it. They keep saying, well, we can just move it this way and they can still access to the north and south end of the park. The problem is they don't ride. And if you guys notice, if you start going to that cliff, there's only certain access points to and from. Not everybody can ride them. And if you have the wrong machine or not a very good rider, you aren't getting from one place to the other at all. And so we have to try to educate them because all they look at is a map because they don't want to come out here and get sandy. It looks cool on a map. But the education of those people, sometimes because they're PhD doctor type people, and they sit in an office and they don't get out. Yeah. So But I do have pretty strong opinions about a lot of things, and it does get me in trouble at times. But you know what? If you're really dedicated and want to enjoy it and let other people have that, sometimes you have to have a voice like that. And so I hope I'm a voice for you guys, to have you guys have this opportunity to continually be used. So it's kind of, you guys notice out here to the west of us, all the clearing they've been doing on, all the bull hogging and stuff. We get a lot of people from back east. If I offend somebody, whatever, I'm going to say it anyways. All those people back east have screwed things up for themselves, so they want to come to the west and teach us how to fix it. Okay? They need to go back there and fix their own problems. When you actually explain to them how and why it's being done, and you get them to have an open mind, they actually understand it better. All they see is these bad advertisements from the Sierra Club and all those special interest groups. Yeah. They don't tell the whole story. You tell them the other side of it, and they actually are more willing to listen to you and understand the whole thing. Yes, right now it looks bad.
Yeah.
Give it a few years, it'll look awesome. You know, we all work together, state, local, federal agencies. And that's what we're here for, to cooperate with everybody and get the best uses of the land. And that's the thing is a lot of people I deal with is the first thing, you allow those people to ride out there on those dunes? Well, yeah, it's a multiple use park, you know. And they destroy everything. I go, I'll tell you what, let God have a nice day with the wind blowing, it'll be all clean.
Exactly.
You know?
Take an eraser and it's gone.
And so the other thing is you have to explain to them that you go out there, you're leaving tracks. What's the difference from you and them? And once you start explaining that and give them something to think about, it's amazing how they'll come around and say, okay, yeah, I can see why it's this or that. But you get those extremists, and you just kind of say, you have your ideas, your opinions, have at it. You can leave, you know, whatever. Because there's not a whole lot that you can tell those people. The other thing that's out here is pretty fun, these pine trees. We're at 6,000, just under 6,000 feet right here. So what's unique about this is these pine trees. That you don't see these in a desert area, in sand dunes. You go to St. Anthony's, Little Sahara, Glamis, Dumont, you don't see trees at all. So this is really unique. In fact, on this actual area right here, earlier last year, it had Land Rover from England, the company, the big company. They actually staged a big spot. They actually drove the Land Rovers through the park with every country you can think of to have their salespeople come out and use this. So it's a good backdrop for everything. It had Land Rover, Kanab, Honda, Toyota, GMC, Victoria's Secret, American Eagle, and it's good exposure for everybody. It's good scenery, good exposure for the park and for Kane County. Get people out here. There's such an opportunity just to enjoy out here. We have a media person, public affairs guy that is kind of all over the map. He brought out a yoga group out here. Be with one with nature. They took them out to the other grove down south there and did their thing, and you know, they enjoyed it. So a lot of people come out for wedding pictures. A lot of tour companies want to start using this area out here. A lot of just come through and go from one place to the other. There's so many opportunities to ride and enjoy it. A lot of times now is the sand dunes aren't used as much as they used to be because of all the trails. And the best thing is, guys, look at the age of us around here. You know, it's a family, old guy, old man activity, because you can go out for miles and miles and enjoy it. The thing is, you're not alone anymore. I mean, I was out down there by Pursunaweep. I thought I'd be, you know, by myself for a while. Had 45 rigs in a span of 2 hours pass me, and I was clear the crap down there. I mean, I was so far down there. I was in my truck, and I was surprised how many people were coming through.